Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is quote 141. Today we have another one by Thomas Jefferson. Of course, remember he was a former president, I believe the third president of the United States. He's also the one that wrote the Declaration of Independence, so he's definitely one of the founding fathers. Let's take a look at his quote. The man who reads nothing at all is better educated than the man who reads nothing but newspapers. Okay, let's look at the note. What Thomas Jefferson is referring to in this quote is fake news. Many people tend to think fake news is something new, but if you study quotes or study history, you will see fake news is as old as the hills. Okay. The quote by Thomas Jefferson would be equivalent of saying that people who pay no attention to the news today would be better educated than people who only pay attention to the mainstream media. You know, the main news networks that are out there, MSN, CNN, New York Times, even Fox News, even those, a lot of them have a lot of rich, powerful interests that kind of control them or hold them back, or even at worst, maybe put pressure on them to report the news in a particular way. Remember, this is also connected to remember another quote I did a long time ago by Mark Twain. When I first heard it, I thought it was a Denzel Washington quote. I seen on the news, and Denzel Washington, he was asked about the news, and he was saying, well, if you don't pay any attention to the news, you're uninformed, and if you do pay attention to the news, you're misinformed. It's the same thing. So he's saying you have to be careful. Don't trust everything that the mainstream news tells you. It's the same thing. So when I was going to give credit originally to Denzel Washington, but when I started researching it, I found out, well, Denzel Washington actually just repeated a Mark Twain quote. And I give him credit for that, because you don't hear that a lot in Hollywood, people doing that. Anyway, let's continue here. Yeah. Even back in his time, Thomas Jefferson knew that newspapers and journalists could be bought and paid to produce media for or against any agenda that rich, powerful interests want to influence. So Thomas Jefferson, he thought, like, maybe if you read a lot of books and stuff like that, maybe you were better educated. But just newspapers, even he was saying, even in his time, even with our founding fathers saying you can't completely trust what the newspapers are saying. They're too easily influenced or too easily bribed or controlled one way or another, or special interest buys them up. So you need to be careful. All right, let's go on. To influence or brainwash the public with. So anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it's food for thought. Remember, most of the news nowadays comes from two major news sources. I think it's AP and Reuters. And if you research and you find out who really owns them, you will realize that rich, powerful interests own them, and they control a lot. And a lot of that news is the news that most other networks get their news from. Anyway, again, I hope it was informative. I hope it was useful. Thank you for your